Greetings from Radio Wasteland Records in Midland, Michigan. It is time once again for our weekly check into the highlights of the new releases headed to an independent record store near you. Once again, just the highlights. There's way too many to cover in one fell swoop and keep the video short and succinct like we like them. So if you'd like to see the full list, head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look. These are the ones we've got scheduled for Friday, February 3rd, 2023. And a couple of interesting new releases and some that I had to do a little bit of digging on to get a proper description. Out the gate, though, here's something brand new from John Frusciante, most known as a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's out with a new solo project, and this one's a tough one. It's actually pronounced one, regardless of what it looks like on the album cover. It's actually, according to Discogs, this is part of a two-part type album, two versions of this album, rather. The vinyl version, which is the one we're seeing here, is pronounced one. And this version is shorter than the compact disc or digital version. And the reason for this, according to what I've been able to find, is that the digital version has some sounds on it that cannot be pressed onto vinyl. I'm not sure what that means, but according to NME, which had an article on this, they said that just that, quote, some of the tracks have sounds that cannot be pressed onto vinyl. So I'm not certain what that means, but regardless, we have got two versions of this. The vinyl version, again, pronounced one. The CD version has extra tracks, and that is pronounced two. So the vinyl version of John Frusciante's One will list very heavy, coming in at a suggested retail price of around $45. And again, that is just a portion of this. So if you're looking for the full thing, make sure you check out or pre-order the CD release to go along with it, so you've got everything. Next up on the new release front is one from Weezer, and we're calling this a new release because this is new to us on vinyl, and this is the first of a four-part EP series entitled Seasons. Now, this is actually a 2022 release. Weezer had released these one-offs. It's a 4 EP song cycle called Seasons, but again spelled S-Z-N-Z. Spring was the first entry in this four-part project, and according to some of our other sources, this musical project by Weezer was released throughout 2022. It was a collection of 4 short studio records that were each released on the first day of the seasonal solstice, with each of them having its own motif, aesthetic themes, and production styles based on that corresponding season. So while the digital or CD versions were released on that actual equinox day, the vinyl is apparently not. So now a year later, almost a year later, we're getting the first of these Seasons Spring from Weezer, releasing on Friday the 3rd. This one coming in at a list price of about $22, and there is also an indie exclusive version listing for $22 as well, but it says it's on colored vinyl, but does not give us any indication just what that colored vinyl is. So if you were a fan of the digital release and you stuck true to each of those last year, we can look forward to the vinyl being released, hopefully a couple months apart as we go throughout 2023. Next up is a very interesting one from Korn. This is called Requiem Mask, and it says Blue Jay. I'm assuming that means it's on the blue colored vinyl. Our description is short and sweet, and it says the songs of Requiem are captured live as part of an intimate ceremony that was held at the Hollywood United Methodist Church. So a little bit more digging, brought up an article from the Metal Injection website, and said that Korn originally played their Requiem Mass show on February 3rd of 2022 at that Hollywood United Methodist Church in Los Angeles, California. So the band will release the non-acoustic portion of that show on a new live album, this one called Requiem Mass, on February 3rd. This one, as we'd mentioned, coming on blue vinyl. They're calling it Blue Jay vinyl, and it will list for about $22. One final new release of note for February 3rd, and this one is called Queen of Me from Shania Twain. This is the singer-songwriter's 6th album and her follow-up to 2017's Now. So the new album also features previous released singles, Waking Up Dreaming and Not Just a Girl, which were featured in Twain's Netflix documentary. So it looks like there's some new material and some old material, but Queen of Me from Shania Twain will list for about $30. Lots of cool stuff on the reissue front for February 3rd as well, including a new reissue of Ozzy Osbourne's Patient No. 9. This one, though, has a Todd McFarlane cover variant and includes a comic book. Other than that, it doesn't look like there's anything special with the vinyl. Looks like it's just double LP black vinyl. But again, that comes with the Todd McFarlane cover variant and comic book from Ozzy Osbourne, listing at a price of around $44. A couple of reissues from Avenged Sevenfold, first up being Nightmare, this one coming on transparent blue vinyl, listing for about $35, and Avenged Sevenfold, the self-titled one, this one coming on orange vinyl. Both of those slated for the February 3rd release, but there's another one just as a preview for the week after. We've got another from Avenged Sevenfold, this one's City of Evil, but again, a week later, this one's scheduled for February 10th. So the one on February 10th looks like it's going to be listing for about $35, and as we mentioned, the Avenged Sevenfold on orange, self-titled, listing for $35, and the transparent blue Nightmare also listing for $35. We have a 10th anniversary edition of the Lumineers self-titled album coming out on the 3rd as well. This one is now a double 180-gram LP pressing on black vinyl. It's been digitally remastered and expanded, featuring 6 tracks that were previously unreleased on vinyl. This one also has new liner notes and an all-new packaging with exclusive behind-the-scenes photos included. So the 10th anniversary edition of the Lumineers self-titled will list for about $35. Here's one from Nick Cave. Well, actually the birthday party. Let's go ahead and call it that. This is a reissue of Hee Haw, coming on 140-gram vinyl, red, black, and white vinyl, kind of a multicolor mix. This album was originally released in 1989, and this new reissue from the birthday party, Hee Haw, will list for about $26. A pair of reissues from The Zombies. We have Odyssey and Oracle first up, and this one is on orange and red vinyl. Limited edition, rather, 180-gram red-colored vinyl. According to our description, this is a half-speed mastered version of the album, which was originally recorded at EMI's Abbey Road Studios in 1967. Also expected from The Zombies is one called Begin Here on white vinyl. Our description says this is also a limited edition, 180-gram pressing, half-speed mastered as well. The debut album, first released on Decca Records in 1965, which helped the band leap to fame with She's Not There as a smash hit highlight, alongside selections of R&B covers that typify the sort of early material from British bands played throughout the early 60s. So Begin Here from the Zombies, listing for about $51. I had to double check that. Yes, this one says it's listing for about $51. And just in case I didn't mention it, the Odyssey and Oracle reissue, holy cow, by the way, this one also listing for $51. So both of those, very cool albums to have and have in a collection. And with the half-speed mastering are going to sound very, very, very nice. But that price point is way up there. So hopefully, if you want to get them, you can get them. But that's going to be a little bit of a pricey one to add those to your collection. How about a pair of Soul reissues as well for the 3rd? First up being the exciting Wilson Pickett. That one listing for about $22. And Otis Redding's, this is Otis Blue, the Otis Redding Sings Soul. This one listing for about $25. Both of those on black vinyl. One other reissue on slate for the 3rd as well. This is Billie Holiday's Lady in Satin, coming on 180-gram vinyl as well. This one is now a double LP, originally released in 1958 on Columbia Records. This reissue, though, is going to list very, very thick, coming in at a suggested retail price of $76. And just a couple of more things to wrap up. One live album of note for release on the 3rd. This is Waylon Jennings live from Austin, Texas from 1984. This is part of that Austin City Limits series of live releases, so you know it's going to be some very cool stuff. Our description says this is an limited edition yellow splatter colored vinyl. So Waylon Jennings live from Austin will list for about $27. Now here's a couple of very cool various artists albums to wrap things up. The first is called Gorilla Girls, She Punks and Beyond, 1975 through 2016. This is a UK import double LP on black vinyl. Our description says that this Gorilla Girls takes us on a thrilling ride from punk's mid-70s origins via the left-field post-punk groups, jangly female combos, and vigilante riot girls of the 80s and 90s. So it's a wide, wide swath of artists being covered. Some of these artists include Patti Smith doing Gloria, of course. The Bags, X-Ray Specs are on here. Blondie, The Raincoats, Essential Logic, the Modettes, the Slits. I see the Bangles on here as well. We also have Huggy Bear, Babes in Toyland, Bikini Kill, L7, and The Regrets. This one is going to list for about $40. Again, this is Gorilla Girls, She Punks and Beyond, 1975 through 2016. And here's a more modern one. This is called Magnolia Record Club Presents the Spotify Singles Volume 2. Limited yellow and evergreen splatter colored vinyl. Magnolia Record Club presents the Spotify Singles Singles Volume 2, which is a collection of rare tracks now available for the first time on vinyl. So you can hear artists like Lizzo and St. Paul, Broken Bones, and a band called Japanese Breakfast covering the Cranberries on here as well. Jade Bird's doing Walk Like an Egyptian. Other artists include the Zac Brown Band, Shovels and Rope, Courtney Barnett, and even a cut from John Prine featuring the Secret Sisters. So that had to be a few years old on that. But again, the Magnolia Record Club presents the Spotify Singles Volume 2 Various Artists album, listing for about $30. And that is a very quick check of some of the new releases headed our way for Friday, February 3rd, 2023. If you're local and you see something you'd like us to pre-order, contact us here at the store. Or if you're not local and you'd still like to check things out, head over to our website at radiowastelandrecords.com, and you can either contact us or pre-order from there as well. So until next week, thank you very much for watching, and we'll talk to you next time from Radio Wasteland.